like to introduce the speaker for today. This gentleman is a friend of mine. I've known him for a while. He's actually my coach. John Pyron is an international business sales expert with clients spread across 10 countries around the world. He's having built several multi-million-dollar companies personally. John helps his clients by tailoring custom systems that look for immediate opportunities for revenue increase and long-term growth, and many times 2 and 3 and 4 times revenue growth for those that take action with his business plans and his coaching. John delivers over 70 speeches a year, leads 2 international mastermind groups, is the host of the U.S. Small Business Administration's Business Owners Mastermind Call, and consults over 50 companies each year through one-on-one coaching and counseling. And he's also been known to 10 times your generation systems. So please help me welcome John Pyron. Good to have you, John.
My gosh, I'm busy. Holy cow, I didn't realize I was that busy. Man, where do you find the time? How's everybody doing today?
Fabulous.
Awesome. So how many of you have lead generation systems in place? How many of you are achieving mind-blowing success from those systems? Nobody. Okay, let me ask you this then. How many of you are wondering if playing the lottery twice a week is a winning system for financial success? I have no idea what that has to do with anything, but I just thought I'd throw it out there.
I have to read about someone who won like the lottery.
Exactly. And so we're going to talk about how to generate more leads today. I'm going to share with you some information I use right now to generate a boatload of leads. In fact, more leads than I can even get to. That's a great problem to have in business. Who'd like to have that problem? Fantastic. So what I need from you, I do need something from you. I need you to play full out. Okay? I promise to come here today and give you everything I've got about lead generation systems. In fact, I'm going to share with you 2 of my best systems. You're not going to need the rest of the story after you leave here today. You're not going to have to call me, engage with me, buy some sort of voodoo product at the end. You're going to be able to take what I give you today, and you're going to be able to walk out of here and take action and have success. So I commit to you guys to do that. What I need from you is a commitment to play full out. How many of you can commit to playing full out here today? Full out, here's what full out means. Before you raise your hand, because you might be committing something, I may own your children after this. You got to be very careful. You're like, no problem, right? Bill's like, you can have them. Where do I send them? And so, turn off your cell phone. Put it on vibrate. Be here. Be present. Because this time could never be captured again in your life. Let me share with you an example of what I'm talking about. Get my little doodad thing going on here. So, standing in the men's restroom, in front of the urinal is a guy named Bob. And Bob is frustrated. He's managed to drop a $5 bill inside the urinal. Right about that time, in comes a guy named Dave. Dave looks at Bob, looks down at the urinal, looks back at Bob and goes, that's a tough decision. What are you going to do? Bob, without any hesitation, reaches in his back pocket, pulls out a $50 bill, and tosses it inside the urinal. Dave looks at him and goes, what are you doing, man? That's $50. Bob looks back at him with a little smirk. He goes, well, come on, man. You don't think I'd stick my hand in there for $5, do you? Okay? Here's the point. That's an old story, but here is the point. Some of you drove 15 minutes to get here. Some of you a half hour. How many of you drove more than a half hour to be here? Right? How far? You drove more than a half hour?
Well, because I put the providers in GPS and took me.
Oh, okay. Well, still, you spent all that time.
Folsom, but I took the roundabout way.
Folsom, but you took the roundabout way.
Yeah.
So some of you have already invested 30 minutes. We're going to spend the next 40 minutes. I'm going to share with you some information. You're probably going to spend another 15 to 30 minutes driving home. That's 2 hours of your time that you'll never, ever get back. So that's a big investment. And so here's the success principle. Whenever you have a lot invested, you're willing to do things that you would not normally do. And so what I want you to do today is unplug from the outside world while you're here. That's going to be weird for some of you. Some of you guys like, I got to keep up with Facebook, you know? But I want to encourage you to unplug and be present. And I promise you, I'm going to give you the information that you came here to get today. Is that a fair trade-off? Okay. So before I get started, let me share with you a little bit about my background. Number one is I was born at a very early age, in a little small town called Dallas, Texas. Just a small, quaint, kumbaya town. Now, I moved to East Oakland, California when I was 12. So I went from a small town outside of Dallas called Grand Prairie, Texas, to 69th Avenue and East 14th Street in Oakland. Now that's a big change. You would agree with that, right? Yeah. A lot of getting used to. In fact, my mom had not gotten the memo that it was not safe for little Johnny to walk to school by himself. It was okay in Grand Prairie to do that. But what I discovered is it wasn't safe to do that in East Oakland. In fact, I did get something good out of it is I was on the track team because I got lots of practice with my running. I kid you not. Go ahead, talk to my mom. She'll tell you I got first place ribbons because I got lots of practice. Yeah. What's interesting, though, is April 1987, I am living in an abandoned trailer behind this house on 40th Avenue and East 14th Street, and I'm basically homeless. In fact, I was homeless. Okay. Now, my parents divorced when I was 10, got back together when I was 12. Mom ran off with a boyfriend when I was 17. I mean, it was a crappy childhood. So here's the point. Can you get worse than homeless? Can you go much lower than that? Yeah, you can. You're 6 feet under, right? Okay. And I'll never forget. It was June of 1987. I'm standing outside of this trailer. The windows are broken out. I had towels over the windows. And my family had basically all moved away. 17 and a half. I dropped out of high school. And I'm literally crying. Because there's nobody in my family that's ever succeeded. I didn't have any of the tools to become an adult. I've been surviving since I was 12 years old, and now I'm on my own, and I have no clue what to do. And I'm like, this is as good as it's going to get. And so if you've ever gone through any challenges in your life, I want you to know I've been there. Fast forward. I meet this guy. In 1996, a guy named Dave Vanny. First heard him speak on stage in front of 15,000 people in 1991. And I'm thinking, I resonate with this guy's story. How could I go from where I'm at in this chair up to that stage? And then I had an opportunity to hire this guy as my mentor in February of 1996. And he started telling me stuff that I had never heard before, and that is, you know what, it doesn't matter where you come from. It only matters where you're going. You'll be where you want to be, wherever you want to be. You'll be a product of the books that you read, the audios that you listen to, and the people that you associate with. And I took it to heart, and I started doing what the guy told me to do. And then 2 months later, another cool thing happened. Check this out. So I married this woman right here. Okay. I met her 20 years ago. She's sitting right there. Okay. So if you have any questions about me, don't ask her. Okay. And 19 years ago, she said I do on April 21st. And it wasn't this long, drawn-out thing. We discovered, hey, you know what? Our core beliefs, somebody had spoken on stage, somebody was talking at an event just like this, and they said one thing in that event. There was one line that they said in there, and 5 hours later, her and I are married. And you know what? That's 19 years ago. In fact, in 1991, I was actually October 28th, 1990, I'm at an event just like this. And a guy named Jake Pachia is standing up there, and I remember one sentence. His wife, I had met his wife earlier that day. She was driving this S500 Mercedes-Benz AMG package lowered, 1990. It was a $100,000 car. That was like, I'm like, drug dealer. There's no way in hell this one was drugs, right? And so I go to this meeting, and he shares with me, you see that car my wife was driving today? And I said, yeah. And he goes, we paid cash for that car. Now, to some of you that might not be a big deal, but for me, growing up in poverty, that was a big deal. And he told me that, you know what, just read different books, listen to some different audio, hang out with some different people, and your life will change. I don't care where you come from, John. I remember arguing with him about this. It was like April of 1991, because he had been my first mentor, and I'm arguing with him about why I can't go do what he's asking me to go do. And he said this one thing to me. He says, you know what? If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. And you know what? I'll tell you this right now. If you come here, a lot of you here, we're not like in our 20s here. Okay? Some of us have been alive for a lot longer than me. Okay? And you know what? I've taken on more clients over 60 over this last 90 days than ever before. I mean, that baby boomer generation ain't going to go quiet. Okay? They're hard-working people, baby. And they want opportunity. And so here's the point. Had I not been in that meeting with Jay, had I not met that guy, that one sentence would not have changed my life. I wouldn't be here today. There might be something I say to you here today. Just one thing that might set you on a whole new path. And you know what? If you're here playing full out, that will happen. Let me go back to this picture right here. 17 and a half. I moved out of this place July 21st, 1987. Here I am in the center page of the Sacramento Business Journal. I had not gotten the memo that the economy was collapsing. I'd taken the company from zero to $1 million in 3 years while the housing crisis was going to hell in a handbasket. And the Business Journal came to me and said, did you not get the memo? You cannot grow your company 63% a year. What are you doing? You know what I told them? Anybody want to know what I told them? Okay? Nobody. Okay, we'll take. Anybody want to know what I told them? I said, you know what? I started working with Dave in 1996. I hired Mike Sastry December 15, 2005. I did exactly what those guys told me to do. Didn't argue. Did exactly what they told me to do. That woman kicked my butt and said, get out there and do it. And you know what? From zero, 352 the first year, 685 the second year, 1,037,000 the third year, and then $1 million again. And this was the reason I bring this up, this was the first year in the Sacramento Business Journal's history they could not come up with 100 companies to make the fastest growing companies list. It was 75. It was that bad in this town. Now, here's the point. I don't care where you're at right now in your business or in sales. The only thing that matters in success is now and going forward. It doesn't matter anything that's happened in the past. And you can make a difference walking out of that door today and change your life forever. And I'm going to share with you ways to generate leads that if you take action, you're going to have more leads by this time next week than you can even get to. Not next month, not 3 months from now, by next week. In fact, you'll have some more leads tomorrow. Okay? So let's hop into it. Working with those guys, I've been able to build an international coaching business. I'm in like 10 different countries. This mastermind group that I started from nothing 2 years ago is now 447 people in 10 countries. And all of you can join this for free. Okay? Just go to Facebook, type in the 10X Mastermind Group. Ask to join, you can join. All right, let's get down to some content here, because you came here to hear some good stuff, right? There's 3 ways to 10X your leads. I'm not talking double your leads, twice your leads. I want you to be able to 10 times the amount of leads that you have come in. Qualified leads. Number 1 is the inner game, which has to do with our mindset. Number 2 has to do with the outer game. And number 3, you can have the best mindset on the planet. You can have the best systems in place. But if you can't get your butt to take action, none of it matters, right? Yeah. Let's talk about the inner game. And we can't talk about the inner game without talking about mindset. And one of the mindsets of a champion is that there's always room to grow. How many of you would agree with that statement?
Yeah.
How many of you believe that you have potential inside of you right now to perform at a higher level than the level you've been performing at. You bet. We all do. The challenge is right here. Okay? How do I know this? Check out this picture. What's wrong with this picture?
Instead of walking, they take the escalator.
So here we have a 24-hour fitness. We have a staircase in the middle. We have 2 escalators on the side. And instead of taking the stairs, which is going to be harder to do, and a lot more beneficial, they're going to take the escalator. And this is no different than you and I. As human beings, if left by ourselves, we will gravitate to our comfort zone. It's not just me. It's not just you guys. Michael Jordan had a coach. Okay? In an interview, he was asked, "You're the best in the world. Why do you work with a coach?" He said, "Because if I don't, I'll go back to my comfort zone. I'll never play at a higher level." And so, one of the things that I would recommend you do is if you want to succeed, if you want to make a change going outside of this room today, just do what you know that you should be doing. And do it anyways, whether you feel like it or not. Take the stairs instead of the escalator. Now, what does this have to do with generating leads? Well, here's a client of mine. Her name is Denise Ponnier. She owns a company called River Coyote Design up in Camino, California. Who knows where Camino is? It's up by Placerville. Okay, right above Placerville, where Apple Mountain Golf Course is. I love that place. Okay. And she'd been in business for 15 years. Serviced over 3,000 clients. And she came to me just frustrated. I'm like, 3,000 clients? How are you frustrated? She said, "You know what? 1 month it's great. 1 month it's down. 1 month it's great. 1 month it's down. You know, it just looks just like the stock market." And I said, "Well, what's the problem?" She says, "I do a great job. I get referrals. I go to networking events. I get referrals, but I have no idea when they're going to come to me." How many of you have a referral system in place? Now, let me define what a referral system is in my book. Referral system means in the month of August, you know exactly where the referrals are coming from. You know how many that are coming at. You know what day they're coming to you and who they're coming from. Now, how many of you have a referral system in place? Well, guess what? You're going to walk out of here and you're going to have a referral system in place. That will stop today. If you take action. Right? Because I can't force you to take action. You can lead a horse to, we've all heard this, right? Lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink, right? And so what I did with her is I said, what's the biggest challenge? And it really came down to is she didn't know how to sell. She was scared to death to go and approach a perfect stranger. It's all great when leads just come to you, right? I mean, that's so easy. It's like, hey, Bill referred me to you, and let's get together, right? But to actually meet a perfect stranger and then call them, that's a little scary, huh? Right? And so I worked with her. Started working with her in December of last year, and here's the email she sent me. She decided, here was the challenge. She was taking the escalator. And I taught her how to take the stairs. And then what was really cool, I still have the text message. It's awesome. She sends me this email. You go to my LinkedIn profile and read it. This is too much for a PowerPoint. I want to point out a couple of things. After 15 years of small sales for small projects, this was a big step for me and my team. Do you think a business owner, after being in business for 15 years, that taking advice from somebody was probably a big step? You bet. Then she goes, okay, John walked me through every step of the way, helped me revise my product offering, work through and rework my sales language, get the wording right so that the client wanted what I was offering. How many of you would like to have a presentation where your client wants what you have to offer? You don't even have to ask them to buy it. Okay? Please buy from me, please.
Now.
No. How would you like the other way around? Please sell it to me, please. Right?
Yeah.
And so I taught her how to do that. And she goes, what does she say here? She goes, as a result, I signed the biggest contract in my company's history and they said, I quote, I think the cost is great value for what you will be doing for us. Because she faced her fear. Was she scared to death? You bet. And I called her on it because that's what we get paid for as coaches. If you're coaching and mentoring with somebody and your coach is letting you get away with stuff and not confronting you in a nice way, not yelling at you, not cussing at you, I'm not talking about that type of stuff. But if they're not telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, find a different mentor. Because she had a mindset block on generating leads. This woman's going insane now. She went from doing an average project of $2,500 to that project she closed was $16,000. Her mindset needed to shift. And so when it comes to lead generation, mindset shift is everything. Most of us don't contact perfect strangers about our business because we think we've got to talk to them about our business right then and there. And that's not the purpose of generating leads. The purpose of generating a lead is simply to generate a lead, not to talk to them about it. There's one of the biggest networking events going on tonight at Thunder Valley Casino. It's called Aloha Night. So it'll be about 900 people there. 900 people. And you know what? Most people will go there and they won't walk out with any cards. Because they're more interested in talking about themselves than talking about the other person. And I want to encourage you, if you go to any networking event from this point forward, focus all your conversation on them, and then you want to have what's called an ICR, an interest-creating remark, when they say, so what do you do? So if you and I are at a networking event and you ask me what I do, I just say, you know what, I help people develop their own personal ATM machine. What? How do you do that? I go, let's just, you know what, I do it a lot of different ways. Tell you what, why don't I just send you some information, check it out. If you want to learn more, I'll talk to you about it. I came here to really get to know you and meet some new people, and I turn the conversation right back onto them. And they go, well, yeah, here's my card. And here, you want to blow somebody's mind at your next networking event? Take their card, right, and don't give them a card back. Watch what happens. Right? They've given you your card, their card. You go, hey, okay, no problem. I'll send that to you. Put it in your pocket and start talking again. You go, can I have your card? Right? How many of you would like to walk out of a networking event when you have 10, 15 cards of people that were like, take my card, please? Right? That's what you do. You go there, you focus on them. So that's, get a mentor. It's the bottom line. Over the last 24 years, I've had 5 mentors. Okay? I know people over a 25-year period of time, they have 50 mentors. Because they treat mentors like toilet paper and underwear. Right? They go, okay, I got that from you. I'm off to another person. And they don't really take the time to get resonated with that mentor. Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship because Steve Kerr was great, number one. But number two is that team had been together for a while. And when you add somebody on your team, it's important to have them on your team long enough so they can get to know your body. So my advice, whoever you're working with right now, stay with them. Be loyal. Okay? But either way, find a mentor. Okay? If you want to work with me, great. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about that. So that's the inner game. Let's talk about the outer game. The outer game has to do with systems. And this is the meat of the presentation. How many of us have wow clients? Okay? I mean, clients that we absolutely love. How many of us have clients we don't like? Right? Where's my cell phone? Who's got a cell phone? What the heck do I do with my cell phone? This your cell phone? I can't believe it. Awesome. Okay. Here's how you know if you got wow clients, right? You got wow clients, and you're there on a Saturday, right? And they call you, and you go, voicemail, right? Okay, that's one type of client, right? We all have them. But how would you like to have all your clients be, dude, what's up, man? How's it going? How many of you would like to have clients you're absolutely excited about getting up in the morning and going to work with? Okay? How many of you would like to be like this when they call? You'd be like, oh my God, yes. What would it be like every single day that you get up that you had nothing but the great clients to go to work with. Would that be cool? Okay? So here's how you do it. I'll give you 3 steps. 3 steps to wow. Number 1, perfect client exercise. We're going to go through that. Number 2, you're going to survey your wow clients. Number 3, we're going to run some referral systems with those wow clients. So number 1, perfect client exercise. This is an exercise I want every single one of you to do over the next 7 days. I want you to find 10 wow clients. Now, this is a client that you love the experience, they love the experience. I mean, at the end of the day, you wanted to sit around the campfire, make s'mores, and sing Kumbaya together. I mean, it was just that good. Whether they're with your current business or a past business is irrelevant. And all I want you to do is I want you to make a list of 10 people that you've had that experience with at some point in your business career. Number 2, on a separate sheet of paper for each one of those contacts, I want you to describe who they are. Were they female, male? What age? What did they do? Business owner, employee, homeowner, non-homeowner. Get as much detail about them as you possibly can. To where you can send it to me, and I can read it, and I can picture the person in my mind. Get that detail. Step number 3. Take all 10 of those sheets, put them up on a wall, grab yourself a highlighter, and I want you to start highlighting all the things that all of them have in common. There's going to be key words there that each one of them have in common. Maybe it's their personality type. Were they an aggressive personality? Were they an easy personality? Were they fun? Were they bubbly? You know, do they tell jokes? Were they serious? Were they analytical? Do they prefer details? That kind of detail. Highlight all the commonalities that they have. Finally, step number 4 is simply this. Grab a blank sheet of paper, and now what you're going to do is you're going to step back and you're going to look at all the highlighted stuff. And you're going to start writing out what your perfect client description is. Because success leaves clues. And what you're going to end up with is a perfect client. I did this back in May because I hired a new mentor. My old mentor, taking me as far as I can go, said, hey, we're still great friends. Said, you know what, this guy is going to take me to where I want to go, and I hired a new one. The very first thing he did was this exercise right here. And as a result, my business grew 46% in 45 days. And I got great clients now. It's fine. So here's what I did. I did exactly what I just told you to do, and I sat down and I highlighted it all, and I step back and I came up with the definition I didn't even know. So, okay, I'm looking for a small business owner who's got a lot of time and money invested in their business, and they're freaking stuck. They either can't break through from a sales standpoint, or they can't break through because they don't have the systems in place, and they're spinning all the plates. And their desire is to get to $1 million. And I'm like, I've been working with clients that don't even fit that description. But all of my wow clients fit that description. And as a result, they're having that type of success. And so, if you go through this exercise, you're going to be left with, that's the perfect client. Now, can you stop there? Can you stop there? No. Because you can have the perfect client identified, and you can go to them with the wrong message, and you're not going to have success. You can have the perfect message and go after the wrong client and still not have success. It's when you have the perfect message and the perfect client that, the clouds part, party time, right? So here's the next step. How do we know what to say in the email, our website, our social media blogs, our business cards, what we say on the phone? How many of us guess? How many of us guess what to say? right? We just throw it out there. We go, I think that's going to work. And we throw it out there and go, that didn't work. Okay, well, let's try this. Oh, it didn't work. And we keep throwing it out there, and we're not getting the result that we're looking for. How do we discover what the perfect message is to attract our perfect client?
YouTube.
We ask them. Just ask them. They'll give us the words. They'll give us the words. They'll literally give us all the keywords we need. We don't have to invent nothing. We don't even have to grow a brain. And here's how you do it. You survey them. Okay? Survey the 10 clients you just did the wow exercise with. And you know why it's going to be successful? Because it was a wow experience for both of you. They love you. You can call them. They'll take your call. Right? And so what you do is you send them a survey. Now, here's a document that I have. It's called Survey to Success. And it will give you step by step. You won't even need to call me. Step by step on how to do a survey. So you can ask questions like, what is your overall experience in working with me? What's your greatest value you get from working with us? What is something we can improve to make your experience with us better? What is something we can give to add more value for you when working with us? Notice they're not scale of 1 to 10 questions. I want their words. And here's a good one. Is there anything else you think we should know? But here's an even better question. What's your biggest challenge right now? Right? You can do this with existing clients and past clients. Because if you ask them, guess what? They'll tell you. They'll tell you. And so what happens is you collect that back. All 10 of them. And what are we going to do when we get the 10 papers back? We're going to put them on the wall again. And we're going to grab our highlighter. And we're going to go through and we're going to identify all the key words. And they're going to give us everything we need for our website, for our social media, for our LinkedIn, for our Twitter, for our Facebook, our business cards, the words that we use over the phone. They're going to give us all that. Who wants this survey to success document? Who would like to have it? Okay? Here's how you get it. Everybody got a smartphone. Whip out your phone. You're going to text your email and your name. Got to do both. Am I going to email you? You bet. Am I going to email you again? You bet. That's why I'm going to give me your email address and phone number. So just keep that in mind. The phone number. And I don't spam people. I only put out stuff of value. One of the things I'm known for on the internet, on YouTube, on Google, is I'm notorious for giving away free content that you don't have to call me to implement. Because one of the things I know is most people won't implement it. Because if they did, they would go to YouTube right now and go, how do you generate leads? Right? What's 10 great ways to generate leads? And then you wouldn't be here. You know? And we're human beings. That's how human beings respond, right? And that's why we work with mentors. Okay? Then what you do, now, here's the cool thing. You want to 10x your leads? You want to get your wow clients? Guess what? All your wow clients know wow clients just like them. They all hang out together. Right? We all live in Sacramento. So Bill, if I came to your house and I said, hey, let's go fishing, and you said, hey, yeah, let's go fishing, we grabbed our poles, went over to Folsom Lake, found a place where there's some water, right? Put our pole in the water, would it matter what we caught? No. But if I came to you and said, let's go salmon fishing, could we catch salmon in Folsom Lake? Why is that? Because there's 2 dams separating where the salmon are to where we're fishing. And so doing this exercise will help you to fish in the right ponds now. And then what you're going to do is you're going to run a couple of referral systems with them. My number 1 referral system is you start off with a form. Use a referral form. I'll give you a copy of it. And if you want the soft copy, just include that in that text message that you sent me, and I'll send you the soft copy and you can edit it. you can have the soft copy, and then you can edit it for yourself. And what you do is very simple. You want to change the name, obviously. You don't want the email coming to me. Once you've done your perfect client exercise, now you're going to have the words to put right here on who the perfect client is for you. You're going to have those keywords. Then what you're going to do in the industries is who's in your perfect client, what are the common industries these people have? And you're going to put them right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at your perfect clients again, and you're going to, okay, who are they? What kind of people are they? And you're going to be able to put it here. And then here's what I would recommend. Here's what I do. I have 4 spots. And it's by design because each one of these spots is worth $25. And I tell them, hey, I'm going to do what I do for the next 25 years. So anytime you want a crisp $100 bill, what I want you to do is I want you to fill this out and fax it to me. Or email it to me. Or freaking carrier pigeon it to me. I don't really care how you get it to me. Okay? And I'll send you a $100 bill the moment I set an appointment with each one of these people. Okay? You figure out what your incentive is. But how to turn it into a system, here's the magic move. The average funeral is 250 people. The average wedding is 250 people. Verifiable fact. Okay? It changes every year, because it's a statistic. Is it safe to say that my perfect client's going to meet 4 new people on a regular basis, just like that? You bet. How often can I go back to my perfect client with this form? As often as I want. Right? And if you want to really make an impact with your client, teach them this system. Teach them the perfect client system. Teach them this because guess what your clients want? They want more clients. Right? And you're going to be a hero. Okay? So do that. Next, LinkedIn. If you don't have your LinkedIn profile dialed, you're missing the boat. Okay? LinkedIn is one of the most powerful networking tools on the planet. You can get access to people's Rolodex. Now, all of us are in here are old enough to remember what a Rolodex is. Okay? This is their virtual Rolodex. And so what you do is, now that you've done your perfect client exercise, you've done the survey, you've got all your keywords, guess what you can do on LinkedIn? You can do what I did this morning, because Benita Tadina is here and I have an appointment, and I'm coming here. So what I did is I went to Benita's profile. I took my perfect client words. I clicked on, let's just say this was hers. I clicked on her connections, and there was a little hourglass down there, and I typed in CEO. That's all I did. And I was able to come up with 14 people that I don't know that are my perfect clients. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with Benita after we're done. I'm going to go, do you know Rob? Do you know Sergey? Do you know Jeff? And she's going to say yes, no, yes, no. And I just put check marks next to the people that she knows personally, okay, because some of us are connected to people we don't know. Who do you actually know that if I called up and says, Benita Tadina told me to call you, they would say, oh, I know Benita, right? And so I will walk out of here today with probably 5, maybe 10 referrals. And every single appointment I do for the rest of my life, I do this. I've been doing this for about 3 weeks now. I learned this from a guy named Roy Baden. Yeah. I'm like, Jim Kinnears has been doing this crap to me since 2009. Why didn't I pick up on it? Okay? I meet with Jim on the 3rd Thursday of every single month, and every single month he goes, hey, I was on your LinkedIn profile, and how do you know these people? And I never picked up on it. And I'm like, I could have had a V8, right? How many of us ever had that moment, right? Why do we continue to come to seminars like this? I'll tell you why. Because when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. How many of us have heard something over and over and over again, and all of a sudden we hear it, and bam, it's like the first time we ever heard it? That was me 3 weeks ago on a podcast with Roy Baden. He shared this, and I'm going, I could have had a V8, man. Jim's been doing this to me since 2009. Now I get to do it to him. Okay? We would meet every Thursday, the 3rd Thursday, and I would have to spend an hour trying to come up with people to refer the guy. And now I just go, hey, just go to my LinkedIn profile. I'm going to do the same to you, right? And it's fun. But you got to get your perfect client done first. Okay? Here's a client of mine out of Huntsville, Alabama. She's a realtor. Her name's Shantae Bullock. I taught her these systems. And her business is just, it's stupid right now. I mean, she'll make about $50,000 this month. because of the systems that I've taught her. Okay? She's fired up. And so these systems work. Now, who in here does not have their LinkedIn profile dialed? I mean, just dialed, where you get at least, here's what dialed means. You get 10 to 15 new connection requests every single week. And they're your perfect clients that want to connect with you. Okay? Who has their LinkedIn profile dialed to that extreme? Okay? Here's what you need to do. Go to my YouTube channel. There's a webinar up there called How to Turn LinkedIn into a Lead Generating Machine. It's a joint venture webinar I did with Penny Pearl last August. It's an hour and a half long. Put that on one screen. Put your LinkedIn profile on another screen. Do exactly what it says in there. Now, a lot's changed with LinkedIn. So this coming Tuesday, we're doing a episode 2. And this one's going to be a 2. We practiced on it this morning. It's probably going to be about 3 hours.
In one city?
Because we're going to do Q&A. We're giving away a workbook. You will have everything done during this webinar. And you'll get a copy of the recording and the workbook. Okay? So you got till Tuesday to register for it. I'd recommend you, it's capped at 100 people. Okay? So we're almost sold out on it. $49. Okay? The best $49 you ever sent. In fact, if you don't get 10 times the value, I'll just give you $49 back. Okay? You already registered, right? After this, it's going to be sold for $249 because I'm having a video guy edit it professionally. And it's going to be a packaged deal. But we are not leaving any stone left unturned here. LinkedIn is literally, you will walk away with unbelievable content. Okay? So make sure you register for that. You can register by going bit.ly/LinkedIn John and Penny. All one word. All lowercase because bit.ly is lowercase. How many of you send out long URLs to people? I'm going to give you a little trick. bit.ly, bit.ly, is a link shortening tool. You can register for it for free. It's a free tool. And all those long links that you send to people, you can shorten it up and you can customize the link however you want. And it tracks those people that click on that link for you. It gives you statistics. Okay, it's a free tool. So bit.ly, LinkedIn, John and Penny. Okay, so that's the inner game, that's the outer game, and now it's time to take some action. And the hardest part, standing in the way of people from taking action, is this dirty word right here. Not that. That dirty word. Right? Procrastination. What's interesting is on Tuesday, I'm going to share with you how if you procrastinate on purpose, you can multiply your time. I learned this from Roy Vaden, and I'm going to teach it on Tuesday. So sometimes to deal with procrastination, we've got to look to nature. And who in here is familiar with the state of Colorado? So Colorado is known for the Rocky Mountains, right? And the Rocky Mountains are off to the west, and as you go out towards the east, it goes into the great, the plains, Great Kansas Plains, right? And what happens in Colorado is as the storms come in, they usually come in from the west. And as they roll over the hills, they start going out towards the east. And what's interesting is nature teaches us the best lessons most of the time. And in Colorado, it's got one of the few geographical landscapes that have both buffalo and cows. One of the few places. What's interesting is how these two animals react to that storm. The cow, when they see the storm coming in over the hill, they look at the storm, and they turn to his cow buddy here, what should we do? Run! And they turn around and they run in the opposite direction of the storm. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but cows don't run very fast. And what happens is the storm catches up to them, and instead of stopping, they try to run faster, maximizing the intensity of the storm. Isn't that stupid? Yet how many of us as human beings do the same thing? We know we should be making phone calls. We know we should be generating leads. We know we should be doing certain things, but yet we don't do it. And we procrastinate. What's interesting, though, is if we do what the buffalo do, we'll make a whole lot more money and have a lot less stress, because what they do is they look at the storm and they look at it and they go, "It's a storm. All right, let's do it." And they charge directly into the storm. No hesitation. They just get the pain over quick because there's sunny weather on the other side. And if you follow anybody that is majorly successful, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Michael Dell, anybody that's ever done anything significant, do you think it was all easy? No. They faced storms. You and I met, in June, right? You've owned a business for 25 years, and you're starting a new business, right? Has it just been like a piece of cake because you had 25 years?
Yeah.
Right? Some storms, right? Okay? And Kaman and I met there, and I told Kaman, I said, "Hey, you know what? Let's talk." And we talked, and come to find out, it's like, hey, you know what? Even with 25 years of business experience, why would you hire a coach? Why? Why did you hire me?
First off, when I'm starting new sales skills, I had a IT company. I was in front of CIO talking, but now I'm dealing with one-on-one person, relationship. I don't have the sales skill to talk one-on-one to people.
Challenge with us as business owners. There's nobody to talk to. Nobody to talk to. Right? We need to be able to talk to somebody and run ideas by them. And so the key is to be the buffalo. If you're going through a storm, or you go through any storm in life ever again, charge directly into it. And you'll get to the other side a whole lot quicker, and the pain will be a lot less. And so one of the things that you can do is exactly what Kaman did. You can book a strategy session with me. So let me explain to you how a strategy session with me works. I will spend 2 hours with you. I will pour my entire brain on your business. I will take my 24 years of business experience, the thousands of people that I've trained all over the world, and I train right now, I coach and mentor about 55 business owners every year. And I will put my brain on that for 2 hours with you. We'll talk about your biggest objectives, the biggest challenges that you have. And at the end of that, if you don't feel like you've gotten 10 times the value, just give your money back. Because obviously I'm not going to do that for free. You did it with me, right? Paid off, right? Okay? Made a big difference. And so how do you do that? And why should you do that? Well, because behind every success is effort. Behind every effort is passion. Behind every passion is someone with the courage to try. Kenneth Blanchard said there's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in something, you do it only when it's convenient. But when you're committed to something, you accept no excuses and only results. When I got into an argument with my business partner and he ended up leaving and I fired every single person in my staff and the company was at $1 million and I lost 50% of my client base, do you think I was committed? I was pissed. And it took me 9 months to rebuild it, and it's like, sold it. And he didn't get any money. And I did it legally. Because, anyways, that's a long story. Okay? Normally I charge $500 for it whenever I speak. And I only do this when I speak publicly. Or I do a webinar. Okay? $197. Okay? If, like I said, if you don't get any value out of it, give your money back. If you decide to do anything with me beyond that, then that $197 will be a credit towards whatever it is that you do. And I do workshops, I do one-on-one, I do all kinds of stuff, about 10 different things I do to help you. Okay? Here's a closing thought. Whether you sign up for that strategy session today or not, you're going to pay either way. It's 2 hours. And in 2 hours, I'm going to give you some ideas that are going to change your life. And if they don't, you're going to get your money back. Or you can just continue to get the results that you've been doing. And the choice is yours. Okay? How do you register for the strategy session? It's very simple. If you want to register for it, you can only do it today. Okay? Because I only offer it when I speak. You can fill out this form, or if you don't want to fill out the form and give me your credit card number, I got my little handy dandy credit card swiper thing. Okay? And we can run it today. If you want to get a hold of me for any reason, there's my contact information. It's at the bottom of all the forms that I've handed out to you today. Any questions about what I talked about today? Okay? Did I deliver the value that you've spent your time to do? Good. Was it worth coming? You bet. You guys have been great. Thank you so much.